Hello everyone, my name is Vikram Shetty and I'm a director at 73-bit. In today's video, we are going to see how to create your resume. This is specifically for students, not lateral. And this is pretty much a very great or incidentally a very good initiative, I would say. So what happened, just to give you a backstory, is that I conducted a session for more than 250 students on how to prepare yourself in for the job world while you are students. And it is pretty much the passion project of 100 internship. And I shared 10 skills in it. And Ayush was one of the participants. And at the end, I also shared my Twitter account with the student. But Ayush not only followed me, but he reached out to me on DMs and he asked uh, about how can he build his resume. And I will now want Ayush to introduce himself, what is he studying, which year he is in, and what was his idea behind this question, and what is he expecting from this session. Hi, Ayush.
Hello, sir. I'm Ayush Sanghvi, and currently I'm pursuing a bachelor's in computer science from Anil College, and I'm in the second year. And the topic was it was about the resume part. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. And why did you came up this question? What made you to ask this question?
Because from few days I was just trying to reach trying to make resume from other website, but I'm not getting exactly the what kind of a proper resume is built. So when I got when the last time we met in a meet, which was conducted by our college, so I get an idea, and you even helped in that. So that's why I DM you. And my expectations are for like almost it's going to solve you.
What is that expectation?
Hello,
What is that expectation?
your voice is breaking, sir.
I asked, what is that expectation?
The expectation is I know in this seminar it's going to complete it with properly, and I will surely get my idea exactly how to make.
All right, but still, if you want to tell, like, what are you getting out of it? Like, you are confident that I will deliver it, but if I ask you one thing that you would like to get at the end of this session, and what would be that one thing? And
And
what doubt,
that's the knowledge.
knowledge about what exactly? Like one specific
Uh,
thing that,
okay, knowledge about how to be a passionate, make a things passionate and be professional in that.
right, in your resume, like
Yeah,
how to make your resume stand out or on. So that,
stand out. Yeah,
got
exactly.
it. Okay, well, hopefully, let's get into it and let's see if we deliver that. And in middle, in the between, if you have any questions for me, feel free to kind of uh, ask me your questions
Okay.
in case you have one, and definitely I will be more than happy to answer it. So yes, let's
Okay.
get into the action of it. How to create your resume. This is purely for the students who are in information technology. So let's get into it. So today's agenda, I'm going to cover 5 topics. The first one is the resume formatting. So I thought Ayush was asking this, but I'm not sure like what is exactly he's looking for. But first topic I will cover is resume format. Second, I will cover about cover letter. So it's not a resume, but it's a part of a resume. I will explain why it is important. Second, the third point is not to do list. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, but not to do in the resume. So I will highlight those. Then I'm not sure how many students knows this, but I will talk about ATS compatibility. What is ATS compatibility? How it is related to your uh, resume. And the last one is the deal makers. These are like some of the points that I feel, as I said it in asking him if the things that will make your resume stand out as a student. So the challenge with students is that they don't have prior experience, and then even though there is a fresher requirement, sometimes it is very difficult because there are too many applications. Right, currently we are hiring freshers, and there are I think almost more than 500 application came through, and still people have not cleared the last round. So it's too much of a competition, or in that way the supply and demand is too much. So you have to kind of stand out. Is pretty much your resume is a ticket of entry for your first interview. Let's take it that way. So this is pretty much a pass for you to get into the interview. So the objective of a resume is to land the interview, so that the person is not talking to you but looking at your resume and deciding whether or not to put you into the process of hiring. So that's pretty much is what your resume does. So let's see if I can cover this five topic today. So the resume format, pretty simple. I prefer, and before I go ahead, I just want to make one thing clear. This came up in our last session also. These are my point of view. That doesn't mean that this is right, or this is the only way to do it. There are other way you can do your research. What I'm trying to do is, because I'm a someone who is a owner of a software company, and I've been hiring people for last 7 years at least, and in my past job also I've been conducting walk-in interviews and stuff like that. So I've been taking interviews for, I think, almost more than 10 years now. And I might have interviewed around 500 to 1000, or at least seen a resume for more than 1000 people till now. Pretty much. So this is what I think, based on how busy I am and how busy you are when you have like 50, 100 resumes. So what my point is, it's also one of some of the people follow this practice. So this is my suggestions on all the five topics, and you may choose or you may not choose. In our last session also, there was one point that I spoke about communications, and in that also I told, what I told was, when you start a business, you should not focus only on money. But it was misinterpreted as money is not important, but that I never said that. That's how you interpret. So you have to be very careful about how you take this. So take this as an information. It's a new information. It's my point of view. It is what I look out when I see resume, and based on my experience and some information that I've taken, I think doing this could increase your chances for landing an interview. So that's pretty much the outcome that I am uh, I cannot claim it, but I strongly back it. Like, this could increase your chances. So somebody has to try it, apply it for the 10 places, and see if they land an interview. So that could be the litmus test. So yes, let's move ahead so that the expectation is set. So the format, I think it should be of one page, especially for a fresher, because you don't have anything to say anyway much. So rather than keeping in one place, that keeps off the pressure, and the reader also is kind of, it don't knows that there is no multiple pages to it. Secondly, there is a format of two columns, so it can be a three-fourth, 66% as one column and 32% as another column. So that's a two-column format that you use. You will find it. I will show a couple of examples to back it up. And don't use more than three colors. Which and when you say don't use more than three color, also don't put only one color like the black color. You have to use two or three colors just to highlight certain areas and point out. So you have to use colors, but don't use more than three. But you don't do one color is also what I'm kind of recommending. And that color can be kind of a black and a gray kind of a combination also, if you don't like blue or green or some other colors. But my preference is you use a little bit of color if you are the kind of person who likes to put colors. The link of resume builders, what Ayush mentioned in the discussion, will be in the comments below. I will share where you can put in your information. At the end of it, your resume will be coming out of. So there are many tools out there. You can Google it. Couple of links I will mention below. So that's the first topic, resume format. Any questions, doubt, Ayush?
Uh, the question was the like colors we can use in anything, like for highlighting something and even in the border lines.
Right. So that's a very good point. So I would recommend you to do that. Another subtle way to do that of highlighting something could be just to make that text bold. So you don't have to use color, but if it is black color, but if you, for example, if there is any number, for example, if you have improved a performance of a page from 10 seconds to 5 seconds, So you can highlight from 10 seconds to 5 seconds in bold. So in that case, you kind of using the same principle of highlighting it, but without color, but you're keeping bold. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Good question. Second, the cover letter. Now, this I'm not sure how many of you know. I will ask Ayush later if he knows about it. So this in this session, I will not talk what is a cover letter. You can Google it. But just to tell you, it's pretty much a letter before your resume. Normally, when you go on a physical resume, that's a cover letter, and then you have a resume. So you can always, whenever you are applying, you can send a resume, and you can also send a cover letter separately. So that is how you can use it, and so that you still keep. So cover letter also cannot be more than one page, pretty much. That's it. But what a cover letter does is, uh, preferably 1.5 page is recommended, so that you have it shows that you have done a good research. But you can, for student who don't know anything about cover letter, I would recommend that you first start with one pager, and in that, pretty much you kind of do enough research on the job, and you explicitly mention couple of reasons why you think you are a good fit for the job, and why have you applied for the job, and things of that sort, that kind of resonates with anyone who is hiring, or the founder of the company, or or the managers of the company. So there are very less cover letter floating here and there. So that would also, like, just by adding a cover letter, I think people will, okay, why have we sent two documents, have we sent two resumes, the people, that curiosity automatically increases the logical point of view. And the reason why I think, and definitely this is a search that I've done and I kind of resonate with it, is, first of all, it's because it's personal for you, and you are writing something that is connected to your personal ability and skills to that particular role. So it's very personal in that, so it showcases your personality, and your it kind of, as if you are having a 5 minute call with that person, and you are kind of doing your pitch, kind of a thing. Because resume is what your skills are, it's more standard, but this is, it's more than just the data, it's about your personality also. So it kind of, the tone of your voice and stuff can be presented in that. So that's first thing. Second thing, what Ayush also mentioned, a word passion in the introduction. So this is a good platform, or a good half a page or a one page to show your passion and what it, and here you can maybe mention that you have the, in, for example, if you are, I'll just use data science because one of my intern is looking for that job. But suppose if you have, like, you can tell people are looking for experiences and still not offering job, but I did this course, which you mentioned in your resume, that course, right? You just mentioned the course and whatever topic is that, but you can mention here, for example, I've done this course where it had 50 hours of video in it that I watched 2 times. And there almost I practiced all the problems in that, which was more than 200 problem statement. I have almost spent 3 months to solve that. And I have created different steps in it, which I've posted in the GitHub. So people will not go and check on their GitHub, but this 2 or 3 lines will kind of show how passionate you are about that, showcase your dedication to your future employee, and it is specific to this. Now, if the job requirement is of a web developer, I will not put the data science course and talk about it. That doesn't make sense. So you see the why it shows the passion, or you're really interested in doing that passion kind of a thing. Now, one thing, if you are talking to one of the mentors, or if you have spoken with somebody in the field of about data science, you can mention about that, and you can tell what it gained and how it helped you and stuff like that. So that's the second reason, it opens up the passion, and this kind of gives you an edge. And third, I think, and it's the most important also, in a way, it shows the writing skills. If you remember, Ayush, in my presentation, comms was the communication was the first thing, and this pretty much shows how you can write in concise script, to the point, and more active voice in terms of business communication. This kind of demonstrate how your emails will look. This kind of demonstrate how your requirement document, or the requirement, or the questions that you will ask will look. And what is believed in most of the world is the ability that your ability of writing demonstrate your ability of thinking. There is no other way to demonstrate that I can think, or I can think of a better idea, is the way you write it down. Because if I need to explain a problem to someone in 400 pages, that means I don't understand the problem correctly. It's always better to explain a problem in one para. So that's kind of is the reason why I think cover letter could be a game changer for the student, especially with no prior experience. Any questions here, Ayush?
No, thank you, sir. Actually, you covered everything. Even I was not knowing about the cover letter.
Okay, good. So that pretty much at least gives me an edge that you got some new information. So that
Yeah.
pretty much in just I think in 10 minutes of this video, we have kind of got value out of it. I'm happy. I think there will be one more thing that coming. I'm sure that you might not know, but let's see what how it goes. This is the not to do list. So you should not mention all these things into your resume as a fresher. That's my recommendation. I'll start with this language thing. So this is a very common habit I see. I know Hindi, English, and your regional languages, your mother tongue and stuff. So you should not just remove that. Nobody like it's not adding. It's just taking the real estate of your one page resume, because it's a one page resume format. You don't have space, so you should uh, not included. Again, it's my recommendation. It's what I think. You can choose to put or not put. It's your call. But this is what I think. The extracurricular activity that you have done in your college doesn't fall too much. I know there is a school of thought that you mentioned. So the reason they put it is to kind of show that you are more you have taken initiative and stuff. But right now people, like, there are earlier there was no online stuff, so now you can do the same thing by putting your github link, some of your passion projects and things that are actionable and that are more related to the job that you're going to do. So that has to be replaced with the extracurricular then a photograph. So this is pretty much I've spoken to my wife, and her understanding, and pretty much I agree with her. What happens is when you put a photograph, there is a certain kind of bias that creates at the time of scanning, and pretty much all of most of us, what we how we look and how our photo looks are completely different, and the personality doesn't show. So that's what it is avoided. It is mostly in most of the school of thought people are asked to recommend, but this is what my recommendation is. At least my conclusion is you can avoid the photo to begin with, and don't avoid those hobbies. I like to read, I like to watch movies, and I like to travel. uh, it doesn't kind of add value to your resume, so I would ask. And don't put address, the complete address you don't need to put. You need to protect your privacy also. So what at the most you can put, which Ayush has done, and Ayush has done a pretty good decent job in creating whatever resume that is created. I would not
Thank you, sir.
yeah, I would highlight that point. You had a decent resume, you didn't need, but you can definitely improve on it, but it was decent. And he has done that. So instead of the complete address, he has put the city, the Mumbai. So you can put that. And the reason to also avoid the address right now, you can completely avoid it, because the digital world, or at least the tech world, has moved remote. So it kind of it's better that you don't put it, because most of people are looking for remote. Even if you are in Mumbai and the company is Mumbai, you might be working from home or someplace. So it's not relevant then. At least post pandemic, the post pandemic in tech sector doesn't hold any much of a value right now. So yeah, so that would be my thing that I would do in the not to do list. Any question, Ayush?
No, sir, it's clear. I already know this point.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now this is ATS compatibility. This is my guess that you might not know about it. Uh, some spell check there, but ignore that. So ATS is application tracking systems. So this is basically a software that is used by recruiter or employers for hiring. So they what they do is once the position is open and once people have started uploading their resume, there is a software, and nowadays there is AI system also, which I think I mentioned in my talk also. So this is kind of a scanner before the AI takes over, and this pretty much pulls up information and kind of plays with it. And this is the data I got from internet. So uh, I will put the link also, the source of this piece of information. uh, and 99% of Fortune 500 companies use it. So you have to make sure that your resume is ATS compatible. And there is a free ATS resume scanner that I found on the net. So I will put the link in the below. So you can test it and you can scan and learn more about ATS. So again, like cover letter, this session is not to explain you how to make it ATS compatible, but to inform you so that you can do your own research and make your resume ATS compatible. Any question, Ayush? What do you know this?
Sir, exactly. The ATS compatibility, what it does exactly, it scans the resume, right?
So yeah, it scans the resume and it kind of, as per my knowledge or my understanding goes, what it will do is wherever you have written skills, so it will remove that as put it in the keywords. Wherever you have written experiences, try to calculate the total number of experience that you may have. In your case, you might not have. And then there are some, what it does, it kind of do sentiment analysis of the way you have written the objective or experience, or it can kind of pull some numbers from it, like I do performance and from 10 to 15 or those kind of. So it kind of scans all those things and kind of, if you see, like I saw something, so there is a beautiful dashboard after it once you compatible, and then it kind of shows a positivity of a person or some kind of relative analysis on the resume. And what they can choose to do, anyone above 75 on this particular score, we will start the interview of them, and your chance will never only come because in the first you miss the boat, is what happens. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, I understand.
Any other question? It still sounds like.
Sir, at the end, you exactly, I didn't understand the last part you said.
So normally what happens after the scanning system, there is normally an automated assessment happens based on whatever criteria. Now I am not giving you an example of a criteria because I don't know what kind of criteria the Fortune 500 company might be looking for who are using this. Okay. So for example, it will be wrong to take an example, but just to explain this in a simpler term. So now see here, it is I don't completely understand ATS, so it's for me also it's very difficult to explain you. But still, I will take this. For example, if they are scanning data science as a resume thing, okay. So now if the application is for the data science, then people will put as Python as their skill, right? Normally they put Python.
Yeah.
Do you know there is a language called as R?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Normally student will not put R because they don't know R, right? But
Yeah.
if there is any enthusiastic, really passionate data science, he might have learned a couple of like course or open course on R, and he might end up putting R into it, or some terms which is very specific to a data pattern like TensorFlow or some related technology. Okay. So
Like libraries and all.
libraries and all. Okay, perfect. I think
Yeah.
that makes much more sense. In Python, there are different libraries that they use, so they might have put those libraries. Now, what this scanner will do is they kind of do a scanner matching. Like if they find the word of the libraries and the language, and if they found, they kind of say, suppose they have 10 keywords. Okay, so whatever the library. Do you know any library in Python for data science? I think there is one called as Panda or something, right? So there is one.
NumPy and Panda.
Yeah, NumPy is one. So NumPy and Panda. So there similarly NumPy, Panda, Python, R, TensorFlow. They can 10. So they create a point system saying that people who have 8 of them, give them 8 points. But people only put two those keywords, give them 2 points. Just for argument's sake. This is might they might not do, but similar to that.
Yeah.
So they have 100 applications. So whoever scored out 7 out of 10, so that will be the first 10 applications. And they start interview of those kind of people. Why did they do that? Because their chances of hiring them is better because they feel that in their resume they have mentioned all those things. At least the interviewer can ask those questions and they can gauge if that is done. But the person who has scored one, if I ask them num panda and if or num the panda, sorry, then the person will not give an answer. So that's how they filter it. So you have to. What here is talking is not what keyword you have to put, but if your resume is somehow you have used some kind of a tool which doesn't extract text from the PDF for this kind of system. So in your case, it will be a big black box that goes into the system, and you will not even get Python. And so that is what I am confidently trying to explain, that you have to be
Okay.
compatible for the system to even pick up your keywords. Is what you have to be careful of, because what happens is people are using different tools. Sometimes people use Photoshop and stuff also to make look a bit more jazzier and stuff, but then the text doesn't come out. So that's why you have to make sure if you are using online tool also, you have to see if it is ATS compatible. And the scanner kind of, to try this out and see how the output comes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. I will try that.
Okay. This is also a new information for me. So I was just doing research about the question that you have asked. So this is what I have came up. Okay. All right. So the deal maker, I think, let's see. So this is my recommendation. So whatever I did was new information and all, but this is are my couple of uh, explicit remark that I think could help. Firstly, this one will be a controversial one, but I think that would be it could be very interesting. So for example, uh, you should create, like, you should have a template, but you before applying to any job, you should change your resume to a job specific resume. So let me give you an example here, and it can be this. What I'm telling can be a controversial thing, okay? And people will say, how much time I don't have time, or why should I do that and all, and that is all at the free will of the listener here. But the job specific resume is what I'm talking about here is, let's say there is an let's say our example. So we are hiring for .NET developer with JavaScript skills and SQL Server skills. Okay, so that's a job description, and we are hiring uh, freshers. Okay, so fresher in their college they learn C, Python, Java, JavaScript. Nowadays, different kind of DevOps stuff like that. So they learn a lot of. But what would be interesting is, what I think is, you have to see your resume and remove all the other keywords that is nowhere related to the job title that I am looking for. For example, people kind of skip HTML, CSS, which they might have learned in the job, but they have not put it in. They will not put because the Java and PHP and maybe C might take precedence. So what my recommendation is, this is very specific to technology. So my recommendation would be remove Java, because it's a .NET job. So why would you want to keep Java? You know Java, you know Python, that's good. But what are my recommendation? You remove Java, you remove Python. Instead, you see what is related to JavaScript. Have you ever even know about jQuery? You know about Angular, or you know about heard about React. So you can, even if you don't know, but you can mention desire to learn Angular, jQuery, React, and all those fancy futuristic JavaScript library that you at least know, Bootstrap and stuff in CSS and all. So you have to kind of customize your resume, and this kind of a key thing, desire to learn, which is not even mentioned in the job description, but you know if it is a website, then you know it's asked for JavaScript. You see what are the related libraries, as you mentioned, or related thing that you have mentioned. For example, if it is mentioned ASP, then you have to mention desire to learn REST API. So all those kind of it's a subtle thing, and it is a time consuming, but it also kind of things makes you think like, and what it also makes you do is, you have to kind of fix which area you want to go. You have to decide, like, Some people are there, they want any job that's available in the market. Some people, they are kind of a bit more focused, they want data science related job or website related job. In website, they want to go into Java, or they do want to go into .NET, or they want to go into Ruby, they want to go to Python. So you have to be very particular. So my recommendation here is you have to craft your resume. Most of it will be same, but that 10-15% you should specific to the job specific resume. That's my first recommendation, or the deal maker, as I say. Second thing is GitHub. So Ayush has mentioned is GitHub. So GitHub is, I think, is if you're a developer, or at least in information technology, there are other roles also for testing, and uh, there are other kind of role, UX designer and stuff. But more likely than the BSIT, MSIT, either there is people go for test or developer, testing or developer. That are the two primary runners. In testing also, there are automation testing. So there are things like Cucumber, Selenium, and stuff like that. So you don't have to do anything fancy, but see what is the basic that you can do, and create your GitHub link and put your code or your work out there, and try to keep that code clean with documentation, with test, and with or nicely synopsis your approach, your rational, what problem you are solving. So it is kind of like a marketing material for your profile, is what I would recommend. There is a lot of work here, but definitely now the whole session is to stand out, and to stand out you have to do some work. Third is the LinkedIn. This is my personal
So,
favorite. Yeah,
sorry to
Yash.
interrupt in between. The first point, the specific resume part. As
Right,
I said, I sent you my resume. So the skills I had mentioned even there.
right,
Almost I have mentioned the all skills which I have done currently.
right.
So it is okay, or I have to change it. Like if my main base is I told you, then it's about artificial intelligence.
Right.
So
So,
so
so,
what kind of these changes
so,
I have to
so,
do?
so, yeah, excellent question. So, what you gave me is your, like your draft resume. Like, consider this as your, like a raw material for your resume. Now, whenever there is a job application, now based on that job, you have to make changes in your resume and then send it. Normally what people do, they have this PDF ready, anybody asks, they just keep on firing that this is my resume. Like when I asked you, just send it right within minutes because you had ready. Now if there was a job application, you would have done the same thing. What I'm asking you to do is, when there is a job application, sit and read that, and you have to study the job role, because you will write the cover letter. For that you have to anyway. And after that, come back to resume, and from all those things, whatever is related, for example, see, a fresher to get a AI role, uh, I'd stick my neck out here. It's near to impossible. If from a normal,
It's
nor,
different, yeah.
yeah, it is a difficult thing, and I'm not sure about IITs and stuff. They may or may not. I don't know. I'm just being biased here, based on the society norms or the structure that are. But but you have to understand how the job role works. So that is two things. It's not like in the AI field you will not get. I'm not telling that. But as a AI specialist, or like when people say I want job in AI, so what do you mean by you want in? It's like a non-IT field person telling I want job in IT. What does that mean?
Yeah,
Right? It doesn't make sense. You want a developer job, you want a digital marketing job, you want a testing job, you want a business development job. What a data analyst job or business analyst job? What job you want? So in AI, the lowest denominator could be a data science. I want a job of data science intern, or I want a job of data analyst intern, or those. You have to first figure out what that role is. You can't just talk like I want an AI job. What does it mean? In which sector it is? Is it in healthcare? Is it in insurance? Is it in fintech? So though there are a lot of nuances here. So firstly, I would correct you and see what is the bottom line. What is the in the bottom of the pyramid? What are the jobs available? And then whenever, for example, that's why I will take an example of data analyst, not on also data science intern. And if correct me if I'm wrong. So basically, data science is what AI comes. When AI comes to mind, we are talking about data science. Am I right or wrong?
yeah,
Got it. So now I understand,
perfect.
because yeah, I understand this because I'm in the field. But when you apply it and applying it, and you mention artificial intelligence in your resume, then people will kind of knock out why he doesn't know what he's talking about. Let's forget. But I talk about data analysis or data analyst kind of a role, which is pretty much a data engineering job, post which there is data science job. Okay, and there are now people like the startup world is also playing with the keyword of data science intern, and they give you the task of cleaning up of data, which is pretty much a data engineering job. So there will be a lot of, so you have to read the resume and see, like there will be things like you have to clean up all the blank data, you have to normalize some data, you have to re-index some data. So there will be some kind of job description you have to go through and understand it. Okay, and when you apply for example, data science job, then I don't think .NET plays a role in your, or Java plays a role in your resume. Okay, unless and until they are using a Java related library or tool to do their data science, then I'm not sure. Okay, now for me also, with my limited knowledge, when I hear data science, I pretty much fall into Python and R script and things of that sort. Okay, so are you getting that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm getting it.
Okay, so what you gave me is your raw resume or draft resume, whatever you want to call it. I
Yeah, it
think,
was a draft, sir.
yeah. So raw resume is a nice name to it, double R. So raw resume, and whenever you're applying, you will make changes for that job application, and then you will apply. Is what this first point means in action. Got it?
Okay, means I have to mention related to my field. You mean to say?
Yeah, related to the job role, related to the job
Yeah,
description.
this
So
is job role.
yeah, so you know all the
Yeah,
other things, but the job role doesn't want that. And like
then
I've
I
all,
don't have to mention it.
you don't have to
Yeah,
mention, you don't have to tell them that you know this, that, what. This is what my recommendation. Now you can have
yeah,
an argument with me, but that will show that I don't know other thing and stuff. That is where what I will do in order to fill that skill set, right? Like you have a skill column, then you can create a desired skilled column, and then you can mention the libraries, Angular, React, in the web development form. And in the data science internship thing, you can mention about some libraries you don't know but you know, like sentiment analysis. Then you can predictive analysis, then you can mention all those desire skilled predictive analysis. And if you know the predictive analysis, and then in bracket you can mention the library that is used for predictive analysis. Sentiment analysis, in the bracket you can mention the library, that resume would, oh, there's something interesting here. The skill is only Python and R, but the desired skilled is this much. I want to say I'm
yeah,
kind of,
yeah,
there's no, like nobody shared it. This pretty much thing that I think that people who are applying for me should do that much basic homework and come to me. Okay. And now when people like you who are only focused, and one of my intern is only focused on data science, so they will be too much aware of what's going on, what are the skills, and you, it wouldn't be difficult because your raw resume will already have all this extra code that you are looking for, right? So you're raw. So
yeah,
if you are applying only for data science, then you're pretty much you scan all the job role and there is no requirement for Java or .NET. So your raw resume will always have this Python, R, and that's it, and some data structure and algorithm related, or SQL, or no SQL related, or Hadoop and those kind of things. So all those things you have, then you see, okay, these people don't need Hadoop and stuff, but if you feel, okay, I should put this, or then it pretty much like an edit. You just remove all the extra fluff and you send your resume. So the task is not that it sounds very intellectual, but it is very simple in that case.
yeah. Got it, sir.
I think you understood it finally. All right. So my third is LinkedIn. This is my personal favorite. Reason is that people get more job via LinkedIn than any other social media platform, and in today's date, people want to see what kind of thing that you do on the LinkedIn. So it's not about only about putting that link in your resume. Firstly, if you don't have, you have to put it. You have to create a nice, clean LinkedIn link. There is at the end. If you go to my LinkedIn, you will find the name, and there is no extra character. You check yours, and now you can fix it. And the main thing is, like, this is because you are in college right now, and this is the advice is only for college. during your college, make sure every week you post something related to the field that you are interested in, an article that you post or some activity that shows, like for example, for Ayush, you had a resume building session with Vikram Shetty, and these are my 5 takeaways from the call. So it's your voice. Put your voice out. Show what your passion. So your passion shows in your work, right? Like,
Yes, yes.
yeah, my passion towards my 100 internship program is this call. This call has nothing to do with the internship. You are not my intern. You may or may not be my intern, but this is pretty much on a holiday. I'm coming out and speaking is just because I think this could. That's why it is passion, right? You want to do something out there for, because when I was student, nobody was there. I didn't even know where to go to reach out to industry expert and what all things people are doing. It's not about it's right or wrong, but currently what people are thinking, who are at my position, like who has a position, who are high, uh, running a business, who are employing people, who are doing business in data analysis and benchmarking and data related dashboard and stuff. So it would be nice to know, right? At least at the college, that's an extra advantage for it, and you are also showing your passion by participating it. So the work is there. So in the LinkedIn, you have to put in the work, and the work, if you see, if you do the mathematics, I'm not asking you to post every day. I'm asking you to post once a week, and it can be only couple of lines, or but it has to be a good value, like the highlight of the week kind of a thing. Highlight of the week and every week, and that means you're only posting 52 times a year. Okay, it could be anything. Like in our session, people asked a question about Shark Tank. So you could kind of one, if you are watching Shark Tank India, and if you are liked one of a deal, and why you like, and like, I mean, the logic should be like, you should not like a product, like you can, but you are kind of, it's a marketing, you can't mention about chips and the energy drink of the show. But if there is an IoT device and you like that IoT device, then you mention about this, wow, this IoT device mentioned. Like for example, an IoT, like just to give you an example, if you liked Shark Tank, you are in data science, there was an IoT device that has was about scanning if the food gets spoiled or not, and there is a warehouse IoT management, and they were talking about some 100 kg of vegetables per day. So then you can do a simple back of the envelope calculation, like the big data in terms of so much yield of that kind of fruit in India, this much processing of fruit per day. That means if the product is used by 1 year, this will be the data. It would be interesting how much percentage of goes into waste. And so it's pretty much kind of an analysis of the data. What you're done is kind of data analysis based on just Shark Tank is just a thing that attracts people's attention, but the bottom will be the work. So that would be my LinkedIn advice. I'm strongly promoting, like you have to bring out your work. I've been talking to a lot of people in LinkedIn who are students, so they have been doing good work. So yeah, that's my LinkedIn suggestion. Any questions, or do you understand what I mean?
Yes, sir, I understand. Actually, I was not knowing about this, but I will do it. Surely.
Right. Right. So you're second year. So in 3 years, so what I'm asking you is only 100 post. And 100 post in today's world is like uh, easily
Yeah,
doable.
it's much far. Yeah, it is easy for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, the next one is quantify numbers. So basically, in all your activity, even in the only project that you will be mentioning is about your college project. But in that, you kind of have to mention quantifiable number. So let me give you an example here. So let's say you are doing a project on data science or some kind of data analysis, and the sample data that you might have taken out from Kengil or wherever the source data source that you are picking. Now suppose that has 10 lakh data. So then optimized your code performance to retrieve the data from 10 lakhs from 25 seconds to 5 seconds. Okay, that would be my description below my project. Right. So
Sorry, sir, can you repeat?
yeah.
25 seconds to what?
So So basically, for example, what people do is, says they do some data analysis job. What they put is uh, like uh, did coding of project in Python, or presentation to professor. And then the third point would be could be a UI design for the data analysis. So this is normal standard. People put the information below their project. But what you want to put is quantifiable numbers. So, for example, coding, everybody knows it's a software project. You must be coding. That's the reason of doing the project. So, it's an obvious thing. What you have to mention is optimized Python code to retrieve data from 10 lakh record set or data set in 4 minutes. Sorry, no, 5 seconds, and uh, improving the performance, improving it from the earlier performance which it when it took 20 seconds. Just you can rephrase the work. Basically, improved performance from 25 seconds, retrieval data of 25 seconds to 4 seconds, while the data set was 10,000 10 lakh records. Got it. So you can mention that as a number. So you have to mention numbers there. I'll show you a couple of examples where people have used it, numbers. So I think that would make much more. And plus, now on the spot, I have to think and frame sentences. It becomes a bit difficult. That's. Do you understand what quantifiable numbers means?
Yes, little bit I understand. Even I had made a project because in the college it was.
Right.
It was all about the data thing. Uh, my project was about the something related to I'm so sorry, I just forget the part. I had made it. And even I'm not getting it
No
exactly from
problem.
that.
When we come to
Yeah,
the example, I think I will show you a couple of them and we can revisit the quantifiable. Okay.
yeah,
All right. And you will not get everything right now. We are going to put this on YouTube. You can watch it and then you can kind of relate it, and you can re-watch it maybe 2 or 3 times.
yeah, sure, sure.
All right. And third is the action words. Action words is normally coding, testing, like the action words that you have to use, like where you have performed something. So every line that you use, you have to kind of mention some kind of action words that you have used. That kind of shows that you have worked. So this is a standard one. You can Google about it, and you will get a resume with more action words. So there are a lot of examples, but students normally don't know. They start writing about their own self. You don't. People are not interested in you. People are interested in what you can do. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Right now, people are talking about I got first in a competitive in some college competition. I was first in so and so. So that's not important. It has number, but it is not action. Like what does it mean to the employer? Like, okay, you are showing that you are better, but how exactly were you better? Why did your project win? It would have been a very interesting topic. And if some of your vigilanter or the people who are judging, so if they have to use some words like uh, our judge our judge found that we have used real time data to demonstrate in our project, and that's the reason we got a first prize. Now there is an action there, that of using of real time data, and that kind of, okay, that piques my interest. Oh, in your college project also you kind of did a connection with whatever a Google map or something, and you kind of used real time data and you kind of showed something out of that and did the data analysis rather than the residual data. All right. That's it, man. That's pretty much I have for the 5 points. And now we will jump into the real resume part and look into it. You have any questions for me?
No, sir. But yeah, one more thing I just asked before, like this skill part which I had mentioned, you told about it exactly, which
Right.
part I have, if I have to like remove it. But
Mhm.
if on certain basis. If I want to mention, then what I have to do for that?
So, can you give an example, like in which case you have to mention?
Suppose if I going in a uh, data science, okay, for that I need Python.
Right,
I have to mention there
right.
Python or some R language or something. But the Java, C, and other languages are not used. We know exactly. But still, for the sake, we want to just mention it, then
So,
what
yeah,
will it affect in the resume?
right. But why? So that's what. Why would you want to mention when it is not getting used? Is my question to you. So, for example, there is another job. If it has web development job and you have applied for 15 data science, you've not got any interview. Now you are trying, okay, I want to try it web development. And if that
Yeah.
web development is on Java and HTML and stuff, then based on your raw resume, you will change it to Java, HTML, and you will remove Python, R, and all the library. And then you will submit that as your resume.
Okay, means on that time I have to change it again for it.
Right. Whatever the demand is, you have to
Yeah.
apply it. It's not what I'm trying is you know everything. That is, I'm not denying that fact. I know you have studied all the language. But for
Yeah.
that job, there are only certain language. Okay. So what happens
Okay.
is why I'm telling you this, I will tell you. Now what happens is people are applying for .NET job for me, right? Their sequence of skills are because it is very normal. It has been same since last 20 years. Nothing has changed. Okay. Because Java has advanced Java and there are more Java related courses in our work, like every year
Second
there
year.
is some,
Yeah.
every year
Every year the
there is
modification.
more or less there is Java. So there, what they
Yeah.
will mention is in their skill, they will start with Java. They will start with Java, C, C++, and then dot.
Yeah.
Okay, now when I'm reading a resume for .NET web developer and I see the first skill as Java and C++, it kind of turns me off. Like what is going on here? That means what it shows is the preference is Java. And
Yeah. Right.
similarly, if there is a Python or a data science, and there also if you see Java, C, C++, .NET, Python, and this is the order, like this is the standard. Let me see what your order is, but let we will see right now your resume. I have hidden your number and email, but we will see your body of your resume. But that is where it kind of turns off, like there's no point. But see, any job application, I'm not telling you not to do all this. What I'm telling you is whatever your default resume, don't send it directly. That's what I'm explaining. Take your time, take a hour or a 2 hour or whatever you want to take time, and then you kind of read it and match it with your output. And because if you choose to do a cover letter, you have to do that exercise anyways. You just have to edit at the resume at the end and you have to submit it. What it means is if you are applying for 200 jobs, you have to edit your resume 200 times. That's the thing people are not happy doing.
I was asking, suppose in the college, I am in a post,
Hmm.
like I'm something HOD or HOE, so we can mention that for things.
Right. So I knew that you will ask that question based on it. So what I would you do is what action? That's the reason the action words comes in. You can mention it, but what does it? Does it show any team leader quality or thing? But I will not highlight it. Kind of how you have put it in the first. I will not do that. And if it is related, for example, in data science, I'm not sure what how that HOD's thing is related to the data science. So if there is anything related to the data science or web design, I will highlight that. Got it. So you have to kind of present your work or achievements into their employers or the receivers end, not your. Like what is the line like HOD? I was the HOD. Okay, you are HOD. So what should I do? Understood? It's not like I'm not disrespecting you, but for you have to understand it's a business transaction.
Okay.
Right, you're selling yourself, right? End of the day, what's interview, what's resume, what
Yeah.
is resume? Resume is your advertisement of,
Yeah, it's a kind of advertising. Yeah.
right? It's an editorial, right? So it's a newspaper kind of a thing, like you get a pamphlet in a newspaper, right? So this is what a digital pamphlet kind of a thing. In one page you kind of show, I can do this, I can do that, hire me. Right,
Yeah,
right.
got it.
Got
Yeah.
it. So you have to kind of okay, there you are at your D, but how is that related to this job? And then don't make me think how it is that related. I can think and find out the connection, but it is your job to do that for me, so that
Okay.
you can think like how it is going to help me to hire you. Right.
Okay.
So for example, what you could have done there is mention the team player, or uh, leading a team kind of a thing, or negotiation with the teams, or negotiating with people to getting things done. So that skill will be used for pushing our requirement, uh, keeping a check on the requirement, able to present properly, things of that. So that now we are going into workshop, like we have to sit and draft.
Yeah.
This is only an information video, like people, I'm not sure, people, some of them who are not interested, it's almost 45 minutes now, we must
Yeah.
have it turned off. So we don't want, like, at least whatever information is there, I want to share it. Now before we go ahead, this is a link, important 100 link. So the recording of this will be mentioned in this link, because I think this would be this is pretty much a evergreen topic, and many of the students will be there. So the recording of this is there, and in the recording below that, in the comments, all the important links I will put it. So that's it. Now, Ayush, I have a task for you. I want you to share this link tomorrow, not today. Once it is uploaded, the video is uploaded, and I confirm you on
Yeah.
Twitter. And now onwards, we will not talk in Twitter on DMs. We will talk in open forum. Okay. So that will improve your communication skills also, and your ability to kind of engage with people online. So
Yes, sir.
people will interact, and then you can answer. You will understand what objection that they might have.
Yeah.
Got it? So your job is to send it to, or make at least the view count. I will tell you what is the current view count rate, but I want you to increase the view count to 100. Okay. So there were 250 people audience in our last talk. So I want you to reach out personally to 100 and figure out, that's your kind of thing, and kind of share. Okay, let's do one thing. Don't do this 100 important thing. I think that's pretty much will be value for me. That's not something that you can do it. What you can do is the video that I upload, you can share that video. Like at least it has 100 views. Okay, how to create
Video
the
link.
resume. I think that's pretty fine, because that is anyways going to help people out. Got it?
I can tweet it about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can talk about it, and you can also share your experience, and
Experience.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, you can promote it. Like I'm asking you to be my ad man,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
and that will also kind of, right now you are happy because you got a chance to speak to me directly, with whose talk you have listened. So you could be a little more happier. But
Your voice is breaking.
yeah, you can watch it on the video later. That will be recorded.
Yeah.
But this also is testimony, like, did you really like, or was it really useful, and was it worth sharing, is what we will come to know. And you can give me the feedback after watching the, like, after getting how many views and stuff like that I have got. I will mention you the view count and stuff. But yeah, it will basically a testimony of if the work was worth it, like if people are, it is worth sharing. And you can also mention that you can watch it at 1.2x speed or 1.5 speed. Okay. So
Yeah.
for because it is lengthier a bit. Okay, so now what I
Yeah.
will all I will do is I'll quickly jump into your resume, and then show you some samples that I think are.
Sure.
So yeah, so I'm not sure if I'll put education up. I'll put education down. I'll show the format so that it solves couple of problem. But uh, this again, see, like, you have mentioned this training, and you have mentioned this thing. Now it would be interesting what you actually learned. Like that I mentioned, right? I watched
Yeah.
20 hours of video and completed this course in 3 months time, or like it is still on. So I'm not sure what is going on, but that's what I would tell. And I'm not sure why it is so much of a time. So you should kind of do. So what I would have done is I would have put the project on the top, begin with the project, because there I can talk about. See, here again, this project is about. I don't care what the project is about. Tell me what you have done in the project. Okay,
Okay.
my in I have used GUI for the project, and backend was also. I don't know what backend is. So which language backend you're talking about? Is it MySQL? Is it MongoDB? Is it NoSQL? I don't know anything.
Yeah.
So you have to mention exactly what you did. You and it is mentioned ticket booking, movie ticket booking. So uh, it is like anybody, like non-technical person will know also know it's a booking system, right? Like everybody goes
Yeah.
to. So this is all junk in my point of
Yeah.
view.
Yeah. Got it, sir.
Got it? And rest is fine. You have at least all these things. That's good. Uh, right. I will not go into detail because then it becomes a workshop. We'll quickly try to wrap it up. So this is the two-page format that I was talking about. I like this one. And so that your education on the left-hand side, the skill is on the bottom. So what I would do is I will put the skill up and education bottom maybe to highlight. I'll not put any all of this. I'll just put my phone number and Mumbai. And this I would put LinkedIn and
Link.
GitHub like this. This is very interesting. We need a another session for this, but you have to be very because this is the first thing that they cut see. But I what I would do is create a nice thing, and because I'm writing cover letter, I will not much bother about this. Again,
Yeah.
work experience. So this is pretty much the standard that I'm talking about. Uh, Again, this is another format, two color, left and right. This is an example. I didn't like that. It's my personal choice. This is another thing. The right hand side is a thinner, and this is the same
Yeah.
concept but different format. This is again straight. In the meanwhile, and this is a link where you can kind of put all the information, and at the end, it creates this resume in PDF, and you can download it.
Okay.
So the link I will mention in the comments. You can watch. Then another example in Canva, and there is a photo here. My recommendation is not. And then I have to also check if it is an ATS compliant or not. So that I have to
Yeah.
check. And this is another simple one. And here why I'm highlighting is sometime the skills. Now you can use this as a progress bar, right?
Yeah. As a
Like,
progress.
like how much you are known. So sometimes people what they do is they put a link and then they put a like if it's Java or Python, I can put somewhere like 50%. And in CSS, I can put somewhere 25%, something like that. So I've kind of rated myself. So that is also if you see there are because if you see here, there are like spaces here, right? So they could have kind of done that and used that space, like
Yeah.
a line below that and kind of. Let's see what skills. So yeah, so Python advanced, JavaScript. Okay, now this is nice. So this is instead of advanced intermediate, you could have used that bar line. So it's I don't have to read and at the view I can get an idea about what it. Now you see if you are applying for a data science, I would like to put data structure and machine learning
One at the upper portion.
on the top and
Top. Yeah.
kind of get rid of this and maybe
Yeah.
add one more database if you know because you are applying for data science,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Right. So but I think the idea of desired skill is I think a new concept. I have never seen anyone doing that, so you can give it a try. So showcasing that what your interest is.
So actually, this and the Intenshala.
Yeah,
Yeah. This app helped me to make this resume.
right, but
I just built it.
right
It
but
was made
see
by them own.
right and it's pretty fine. Like I'm not in the middle of the call also I tell that the resume is fine and there is no much thing. What I'm trying to do is first of all I'm trying to make this two page to one page, keeping all the
Yeah.
information intact, and I'm just reordering it so that according to as a someone who is hiring what I would like to see on the top because it's a recommendation.
Yeah.
And here there is no right and wrong. That is something that our students find very difficult to understand, and it is a difficult concept. Like it is only better or worse. Like you can improve something to a level, but like after whatever I tell, there is also a scope of improvement. So that scope of improvement will never go. But what I
Yeah.
will tell is your resume is not the standard template. So at least I will stop and read because of the clean design it had, and it has a little less professional.
Yeah.
The big recommendation that you can compress this 1.5 page into one page, which is doable because there is a lot of white spaces. You can use the
Yeah,
charts and icons to show that intermediate stuff, and so you can have
yeah,
different
exactly.
scales. So some 50 degrees intermediate, advanced is 100% kind of a thing.
True.
And it doesn't have to be explicit, but just an indicative thing there. I hope it was useful. I think it is more than 1 hour of time, and you have asked
Yes,
some nice questions at the end.
it was help.
All
It
right.
helped me a lot actually. Even I got many new things to learn from you, like the cover letter part, and
Right.
the link part and the skill part, which was my exactly the main doubt what I wanted to solve. So it was nice,
Right. Cool.
and I will surely recommend it to in Twitter and my other social
Sure. You will
and to
do that.
employ them.
Right. Thank you for doing that. I'll give you the challenge of making it 100 view. I normally get it, so it's not such a difficult. No, I normally get 25, 50 by default. So 100 is a challenge, but I think that what it will give is people will kind of challenge you. Why are you telling me this? And you can kind of explain, and what they can share their, when they share their feedback or excuses, that kind of helps you to understand your competition also, like what
Yeah,
people are not ready to do, and you can use that as a ammo to build your resume more stronger. So when there are 10
yeah,
application, you are at least on the top 3 and get an interview. That's pretty much an objective. It's not for everyone. Not everyone will go ahead and do all these efforts. So what you did was very, I want to acknowledge you, and I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to also send the link to Sindhu madam and other faculties to share it, because I think it will be worth sharing. But what you will do is kind of reinforce it, and also it is a testimony for you also. Like in the previous session, what I told you, kind of implemented it. It might not
yeah.
have landed you a job, but you are one step closer to get a job.
To got a job. Yeah,
Is what I think what happened today after you build your resume and other stuff and changes. And after you build your resume, you can send it to me. I will personally review it and see how it is. And I will kind of also, what I will do is, once the resume is built, I will put it in the comments below, because
comment
sometimes
it.
it
Yeah,
goes, even if people copy it, that's not a problem, because uh, people might copy the text and change their tweak, but they will not be able to copy your understanding about the subject
yeah,
and why you are doing it and how it will be different and stuff like that. And
right.
plus you have an access to me in the future, so when there is a real job application, you can kind of check with me, this is the
Sure.
job profile and this is the resume, is it a fit? So I'm not going to do it forever, but at least for a couple of times I would like to do that, so that I understand what information is actually shared from this video, and does it even help you at all?
Yeah,
Okay.
it helped me a
Thank you,
lot.
Ayush. Thank you very
But
much.
part of
Yeah.
that, I have one more thing. The link which you have sent for the internship training, right?
Right.
And the I was like watching out, and I got a stuff with that, like
Right.
how to join it.
So the
I'm not
step,
getting that.
yeah, okay. So what I will recommend you there is, there are internship activity 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah,
So go to activity 2, and there is a YouTube video there.
yeah.
Have you watched that video?
Not yet.
Okay, so
Not yet.
go watch that video. In every step there is a either a link or a video, and in that video I've explained it, because like what happened, right? How to
Yeah,
build a resume took 1 hour. So all that thing, it's work. So there are multiple steps. So in that video, there is an explanation. Thank you for bringing that up also, because some students might be struggling. They want to join the internship,
yeah, exactly.
and yeah,
And
so yeah, you watch that video, and if you have a problem, ask me, not on DM but directly, so that I can have that conversation saved, and in future someone asks me, I can send them that Twitter link.
even I also want to opt that activity number two which you told.
Right,
I
right.
was planning for that only.
I,
Well, this was a video, so I was like, I will watch it out like
yeah, and that solves your answer. That will be so we are looking for one person in that role. We already have 3 people, so that would be a good fit for you, because of your enthusiasm and the kind of thing you know.
it's about
And it's
machine
machine
learning.
learning.
Yeah,
So not directly, but yeah, it has machine learning
Yeah, but
element.
related to field.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. All right, Ayush. Thank you very much. All the best. See
Thank
you
you,
on
sir.
the
Yeah.